everything seems to be working properly. So this has been one hell of a week for me. I've had an awesome week, starting with last weekend with the Formula One Brazil Grand Prix, which was a fucking shit show because it was raining and it was just chaos. It was like 3 hours of chaos. And then Monday night, the Chiefs remained undefeated. And I just watched them again today go undefeated yet again. It was a defensive slog. It went down all the way down to the last second. And then Denver tried to kick a field goal to win it by 1 point. They blocked it. So I've been having an amazing week, and I wonder if did I forget anything? Did I miss anything? Well, I missed something, right? Something else happened that I'm not remembering. So, oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that. Trump won, bitches. Trump won. Give the man a fucking round of applause, everybody. The man, despite all the obstacles and hurdles, being impeached, having his house in Mar-a-Lago being raided. He got, what else happened to him? He got like what? Hey, you know what? It got me to thinking. I wonder if they're going to rename Air Force One to Con Air. That would be an epic troll, wouldn't it? But yeah, he should totally for assassination. Where do you get 4 assassination attempts from, Robert? Have Robert on the chats asking a question. I don't know. I could see there were definitely the 2, and I don't know where you get the other 2 from. So if you want to pop it, well, if you want to, yeah. Well, I mean the character assassination. If you want to count that, if you want to count that as an assassination attempt, yes. Well, unending numbers of assassination attempts. But oh yeah, the one Iranian. I just saw a post today. Robert posted in the chat. He goes, allegedly one Iranian. Apparently, a couple of Jews were arrested in that. I'm gonna pull that off my phone. I forgot my phone in the other room. But yeah, apparently a couple of Jewish guys were arrested for that. So I don't know if that could be really considered to be an Iranian assassination attempt. Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what to think, but I wanted to congratulate all the people. Hopefully, eventually, people will watch this live stream while we're chatting. I'm going to, yeah, while we're live, exactly. Don't ask questions after the live stream ends because yeah, there's no way. Yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I wanted to thank everybody for doing, not getting demoralized. Uh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. The thousands and thousands of autistic losers who live in basements with MS Paint have have managed to upset $1 billion campaign and a multi-billion dollar, propaganda machine, and it's glorious. Uh, so yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's all of us. All of us who who do what we do, who share links, who make memes, who you know, number of things who get who get the word of mouth going by sharing stuff. Yeah, all of those people have contributed to making this happen. So I want, yes, demoralizing the libtards, crushing them and watching them lament, watching them weep, as Conan would say. So yeah, I mean, you guys all should be proud of yourselves. Yeah, Canadians, people all over the Anglosphere. I really feel sorry for the people in the UK because you guys really are getting your asses handed to you. Uh, but yeah, no, this is a victory for all of you guys. You know, you never let yourself be demoralized. You kept fighting even through the bullshit of the last 4 years, and we've delivered another victory for Trump. Hopefully, this time, based based on what I'm hearing, they're going to hit the ground running because they're going to have both houses of Congress, and they're wise to the dirty tricks of the left. Like last time, from what I understand, last time it took months for Trump to get the full like his full cabinet in place. Uh, Well, that's what I understand from watching all the YouTubers that I watch, like Dice and Benny Johnson and Steve Turley and some of the other guys. From what I understand, now that they have both houses, they can get those appointees in for his cabinet without having to wait months and months and months for the deep state holding up his appointees, and they'll be able to start hit the ground running and really get going and like on fast forward to implement the agenda that he wants to implement, and really turn the American economy around and secure the border, right? Because if you can't get your cabinet in, you can't really do much, right? So uh, now that he's got both houses, he's wise to the never Trumpers like Pompeo. Did you hear Pompeo and Nikki Haley were told to fuck off? He's like, no, you're not coming. You're not going to be part of the. You're not going to be part of the second Trump administration. So big, yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So it bodes well that he's not going to be stymied the way he was last time, and hopefully, he can, in the first 100 days, get really going. And I'm optimistic, man. I'm really optimistic that this is the beginning of the end of the left. Hopefully, it'll be a correction. Hopefully, the left parties all over the world will realize that people don't want fucking their green agenda and their open fucking borders and their fucking international trade deals that impoverish them. They want to be able to afford their fucking their food and their fuel, and they want their neighborhoods to be safe. And hopefully the left will realize, maybe we've been on this wrong track. Maybe fucking pushing all this trans bullshit, he's going down the wrong path. I don't know. We'll see. Uh, I, I know, right? Yes, exactly. Exactly. Isn't he from your part of the woods? Your neck of the woods? Yeah. Got. Yeah. But he's he is a lot more base than some of these fucking leftists, like in in the Democrat part. I mean, he's making sense. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, and we got Mitch McConnell. I'm just replying to Robert here, who says Mitch McConnell needs to go. Yeah, well, Robert, he's gone. He's done. He's finished. He's out. Once the new houses are sworn in what January, he's done. Yeah. So hopefully, what's his face? That Charlie Crist guy from Florida will get elected as the Senate Majority Leader, and not yeah, not Cornyn, because Cornyn's one of those fucking neocons, rhinos, douchebags, right? So hopefully they'll do the right thing and elect Charlie Crist or whatever the fucking guy's. I might be saying using the wrong name. Um, anyways, so but I've got on screen this graphic here that shows the results of the election, and would you know it, all the states that didn't require any ID whatsoever to vote are all the states that went for the Democrats. That's yeah. Well, I mean, if you look, Robert's replying to my remark earlier. I mean, Mitch McConnell needs to be retired permanent. All right, settle down there, Robert. Uh, yeah, he's calling for a different type of retirement. Settle down there, Robert. Settle down. But what I was going to say, I'm putting on screen now this other graphic that I saw in a YouTube video that I managed to find, but it's basically showing the direction that I don't know if you can see it on your end there, Lord of War, but it just shows all the different counties and the direction of which. I mean, look at the amount of red arrows. I don't. Are you seeing this? It's insane. Yeah, it's like it shows all the different counties represented by an arrow, either a blue arrow or a red arrow, right? And it shows the direction. Like, so if the county uh, drifted towards the Republicans, towards Trump, it points to the right, and depending on how much, by how many points it drifted to the right, it will depend on how long the arrow is, right? And so, like, it's just insane if you look at the amount of arrows in, like, I would say from Texas on towards the eastern seaboard, like the amount of red arrows and how long they are. It's fucking incredible. Trump has been able to move like Illinois, New York, Pennsylvania, like almost every territory, it's moving to the fucking right. So, I mean, if they play a really, if they, now that they've got control of the GOP, because the other problem was, you had that Ronna McDaniel bitch running the GOP, and you had McConnell, and they weren't like really, they were never Trumpers, right? And they were like, they weren't doing all they could to help Trump. Now that they've got control of the GOP, perhaps in the midterms, they can further work on the states like Illinois and New York. New York might be winnable next time, right? Yeah, 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 totally. I mean, I put up the graphic now. Sorry, I wasn't presenting it properly earlier, but you can see it on screen now, guys. Just look at all these arrows that are pointing towards the right. Like all these little arrows is a county, right? So you can see some moves are really small, but then like there's these other moves, like in the southern part of Texas, that was Democrat. Like this whole part of Texas here was Democrat for the longest time. It's now gone, like the arrows are huge, huge. Like he even won Dade County, which is where Miami is. And they haven't, like, Republicans haven't won Miami, Dade County, in the longest time. And yeah, it's impressive what they've done. Now that he was able to take control of the GOP and get his people in there that he likes. But I have this other graphic here I'm showing right now. It's just showing all the different county types, and it's showing the shift between 2020 and 2024. I don't know if you've seen this graphic. I saw it on a video. I can't remember where I saw it, but I was able to find it online. But anyways, practically on every category. So let's say counties that Trump won by more than 20 points in 2020. The shift from Democrats to Trump is 4 points. Counties that Biden won by 20 points, the shift is 7.9 points. Urban counties, 7.9 shift towards Trump. Suburban counties, 8.2% shift towards Trump. Over 90% white counties, 2.7 shift towards Trump. Less than 50% white, 7.1% Trump. Over 25% black, 6.6 shift towards Trump. Over 25% Hispanic, 10.4% shift towards Trump. Over 50% college educated, 10.1%. Like it just goes on and on and on. Like practically every county, he's like, there's been a dramatic shift towards Trump, right? And it just, That's right. From what I understand, MSNBC had told me that it's the misogyny and white supremacy of white and Hispanic men that caused this terrible, terrible outcome. So, hey man, remember Larry Elder when he ran for LA for fucking California governor or some shit like that? And they call the LA Times called him the white face or the black face of white supremacy. But I mean, it just goes to show, like, fucking look. If you want to do the ID poll thing, if you want to put the trannies in charge of everything, fine. People don't give a shit as long as their fucking eggs aren't fucking $15 a carton. Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? Like fucking people will give you a wide leeway to do your crazy ideological bullshit like trannies and the fucking in in departments and shit like that, as long as shit is fucking running fine. Okay, like if gas is cheap and groceries are affordable and your mortgage hasn't increased by, let's say, $1,000 because you had to crank up the interest rates to get inflation under control, people will cut you leeway that way. But when you yeah, but that's the problem. They aren't the best candidates. Look, the best person won. The best person for the job won. Trump had 4 years of try. Yeah, well, he won three times. I mean, we all saw that one graphic where like Kamala got what 12, 14 million fewer votes. What the fuck is that all about? Uh, uh, yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, if I think he got, I I think he got the exact same number of votes. He got like 74 million, whereas Harris, yeah, 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 and so you're telling me Biden got 81? That's bullshit. There's no way that happened. So I hope, I hope that there are Department of Justice investigations into the election results of 2020 because it's bullshit. There's no way. Look, Obama got 69 million, Clinton got 67 million or something like that, 65 million. Obama's first term was 69, second term 65, Clinton got 65. But then all of a sudden, miraculously, Biden, who didn't even campaign, who was hiding in his basement for the whole campaign of 2020, got 81 million. You expect me to buy that? That's bullshit. Yeah, Tetrafish goes fortification and quotation marks and the TM behind it. and, and, and Robert says the same thing. They even admitted Time Magazine admitted that they, colluded to fortify the election. So, I mean, yeah, yeah, and it's like they're basically admitting it. It's like these people, they want to get caught. They want to admit to their crimes. So, well, the other thing that I found, I was watching Glenn Greenwald. He's a lefty, but he's one of the most like good like in-depth reporting type of guys. And he showed this graphic I'm showing on screen now, where it shows the young person vote. So in 2018, women ages 18 to 29 were 33% of the vote for Democrats. The Democrats got 33%. In 2020, it went down to 32%. In 2022, down to 21%. And this is after I guess during the midterms. And then in 2024, they only got 18%. So they've halved the amount of young women that they're getting. And with young men ages 18 to 29, in 2018, the Democrats had 19%. Now, sorry, not 19%, 19 points. In 2020, it was 15 points. In 2022, 1 point. In 2024, it was 14 points went towards Trump. So, like, it's incredible. Like, they're losing with the young people too. Like the Democrats are losing because they always talk about, the young people are going towards the Democrats, blah blah blah. But that's not true. They're losing to the GOP because they're fucking economic. Hey, welcome to the patriarchy. Welcome, buddy. Where did a fellow? Yeah, exactly. A fellow shit poster. The patriarchy has joined the chat. Say hello to the patriarchy, everybody. Yeah, yeah. He runs a page, and I share his stuff from time to time. We should do a live stream together sometime, patriarchy. Uh, Robert Patter says, deep down, they do want to get caught subconsciously. Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. I mean, what's the point of a brilliant crime if you can't take credit for it, right? There's not going to be. Not, there's Yeah, well, there's not going to be any repercussions, right? Nobody's going to jail for it. Yeah, nobody's going to go to jail for it. The media is going to tell you it's a conspiracy theory, even though fucking Time Magazine admits it. So, I mean, like, they're going to gaslight you into oblivion anyway. So there's no consequences. Like, that's what I'm saying. We got to bring back fucking guillotines, firing squads. Fucking if you fucking guillotine a few of these motherfuckers like Liz Cheney, the Biden, the Clintons, the Obamas, then all these other motherfuckers would get in line. They would fucking fall in line, but there's no fucking consequences. So maybe we should just take Robert Patter's fucking advice and just fucking start fucking firing squad some of these motherfuckers, and you'll see how quickly they'll fall in line. Look, I'll tell you a little story. The threat of violence is off the table. Nobody gives a shit. People behave like animals. I had my upstairs tenants behaving like animals. No matter how much I implored them to keep the noise down at night, they wouldn't give a fuck. So I just showed up with a baseball bat, and everybody fucking fell in line. Every single one of them fell in fucking line. Right? So that's what I'm saying. So if you were to, let's say, I don't know, guillotine a few of these motherfuckers like Biden and Clinton, uh, that would be the blob. Well, let me ask you a question, because somebody, Robert, put up a good question. He goes, "I wonder if President Trump can put pressure on housing, maybe if it costs 100K to build a house, so on and so forth." Hey, you're in the trades, right? Okay, so I remember back in like 2018, 2019, there was like a spike on on wood. Like I would see these memes on Facebook where people were talking about like how like one sheet of plywood had like quadrupled in price. Oh, really? Okay. All right. So it was COVID. Because I remember it happening in 2019 before the COVID shit happened. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. All right. Well, I see that's the other problem, right? Like you have the material costs are just so high. It's like, yeah, how are you going to build housing like for millions of people when your material costs? So you gotta drill first. You gotta drill, baby, drill. Get fuel prices down, fuel costs down, and then you can. Once that happens, you can start building. Anyways, let's show some more graphics. Sorry, I just wanted to show all the different stuff that I was able to find So here we go. We're looking at all the different states, what the polls said, and how bad, how far the polls were off. Like I've been watching this one channel called Election Time and Red Eagle Politics, and they were basically they were a great resource for uh, like understanding how bad the polls were because like for a lot of these polls that we're talking about, blah blah blah, Trump this, Trump is behind, blah 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 blah. If you look at how badly like they they were basically how much how their bias was, like how they over represented Democrats and underrepresented Trump in all of his three elections. Like you would basically, all the polls that came out this cycle, you knew if you did the math by that discrepancy, you knew that he was a winner the whole time, right? If you factored in the amount that they were off by the previous two elections, you could tell he was going to win this time. So this time, this is 2020. I'm looking at the wrong, but yeah. So I'm just showing you the 2020 poll. So in Wisconsin, they were off by 9 points. In Ohio, they were off by like 7. It just shows you from all the swing states, they were basically off on all of them. So yeah, it was pretty much predetermined. I mean, there was no way you could survive what how badly they ran the economy, how badly they ran the border. And yeah, that's why they lost the black and Hispanic votes, because a lot of blacks and Hispanics were they were irate that all these invaders were being treated better than they were in their own cities, like Chicago and whatnot. And Latinx or or gangs taking over whole apartment blocks and like like in El Paso, Aurora. Like there's 4 different cities where this actually happened. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, they don't give a fuck. For them, all they're worried about is. See, the other problem too is though, because interest rates went up so high, for a lot of these, for a lot of people, their costs to have these units went up tremendously, right? Like I'll give you an example. I've used this many times, but my mom, she has $152,000 worth of debt with the bank, right? In 2019, her costs to service that was like, 300-400 bucks a month. Over the last few years, with them having to crank up the interest rates to get inflation under control, it went from 300-400 bucks a month to like over $1,000 a month, right? So you're talking about a difference of $700, right? $600 or $700, right? So that's happening to everybody. All these corporations who own these buildings, they've obviously bought them with debt, right? So when you have $12 million worth of debt and they crank the interest rates from practically nothing to like 6%, what do you think happens to your payments every month? So these corporations who are booting out Americans to put in these illegals, they're not doing it because they're evil. They're doing it out of necessity. It's become. Well, dude, they idolize a man who never worked a day in his life, or who he never held public office a day in his life. All Marx did was write theory. That's all it is. It's all theory. It was never tested. Like when you fly in an airplane with a guy saying, I just built an airplane based on theory, without ever having built a mock up, without ever having tested it. Like, would you ever get on? But they want to reorder society based on the works of a man from 200 years ago who never did anything. All he did was write. Yeah. Well, Engels came from wealth. Like Engels' family had. Yeah, yeah. Well, no, Marx's parents, like his father, was a lawyer, so I don't think. But Engels' family had they were industrialists. They had factories, so they were rich, wealthy. You know what I mean? So that's the difference. But yeah, Marx's mom told him one time, he goes, I wish you would actually make some capital instead of just writing about it. It's like, come on, man. Why would you follow a guy who never did anything? Yeah, he wrote some shit. Great. It doesn't amount to a hill of beans, man. If you don't practice it, if you don't test it to see if, hey, what did I just write about? Does it work? Well, if it doesn't work, then it's worthless. So what? Well, yeah. Yeah, and Engels supported Marx for years and years and years. But anyways, just to catch everybody up who's joined the chat, there's 4 people watching, which is great. I'm on with this is Andy from Clownworld Chronicles, all the different pages, and I'm on with the Warlord of the Green Mountains. I like to call him the Lord of War, but that's my also yeah, Marx was a Jew, but he was baptized. He was raised as a Christian. So I'm on with my buddy, the Warlord of the Green Mountains, and I'd like to segue to a different topic now. How cool? How cool would be the Doge Department of the U.S. The, Depart- the I saw this the other day, and I just started. It's a picture of that fucking dog, Doge, that little that Japanese breed, just looking. It's like on a proper like seal, like a round seal. It's a Department of Government Efficiency. How great! How how great would it be if he put Elon Musk in charge of that, and Elon cuts government bureaucrats by like 80%, and the government starts working better? How amazing would that be? Oh, well, here's the funny thing, right? Like, because like he did that at Twitter, and the thing runs just as smooth, if not as before. What what Yeah, what were these 80% of these people working at Twitter? What the fuck were they doing other than making like those TikTok? Oh man, like look, I don't want to shit on government workers. I'm sure a lot of them do very important jobs, but I mean, like just the level of waste in government. Like in Canada, we've hired like 100,000 bureaucrats since Trudeau has been in power, and that's been the only sector of employment growth in the country. Yeah, you know what, man? I remember those stories from the 80s. By the way, Tetrafish chimes in. He says Shiba Inu is the name of the dog breed that is represented by Doge. Thank you for that, Tetrafish. Well, it is a cute dog, but gets back to what you were talking about. I remember from the 80s when there were like these scandals of these toilet seats on submarines costing $600 and hammers. No, you know what that is, right? That's black ops money, man. They're not really paying $600 for a toilet seat. The toilet seat costs 25 cents, and the rest of that money is being funneled to secret funding for things like stealth and space lasers and fucking whatever the fuck else they're doing. Okay, it's okay. Yeah, no, listen, I don't doubt that there might be a few circumstances like that where that does happen. But I'm just saying, like a lot of that bloat is to fund shit that they can't get through Congress. Oh, who the fuck? Yeah, like yeah, exactly. So I mean, yeah, what was Robert say or sorry, Ars Almondel Salamanis? I hope I pronounced that right. So middlings and handouts went to supposed DI initiatives had just fell in the pockets of Marxist commissaries. Yeah, that's true. Up here in Canada, we have a scandal called the Green Slush Fund, where basically the government was handing out money to green initiatives. I'm going to do a video about this next week or the week after. And all the money went into no bid contracts for Liberal Party associates. So, yeah, a lot of this shit is ways for people who are in the donor class to enrich themselves by getting handouts from the government. I mean, it's basically they're stealing our money, man, and that's what I hope Doge does. I hope the department focuses on tracing where all these streams of funding comes from, where it goes, and to expose them all to see if they're legitimate or if they are, just schemes to enrich donors. Because that's what a lot of this shit is, man. Like, look at the FTX. Look what happened with FTX. They were sending money to Ukraine, and then it was being laundered through FTX to back into Democrats' donors. It's a fucking money laundering scheme, man. Oh yeah. So I hope Dodge. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, same here, same here. Exactly. Exactly. And that's what we need, man. This is what people are fucking tired of. This is exactly what you were saying earlier. I wanted to mention. I was watching an earlier video of Trump from I think when he was on Oprah, like in the '90s, and she asked him a question like, "Would you ever run?" Blah blah blah. And he's like Bernie Sanders. He's saying the same shit now that he was saying fucking 20, 30 years ago. It hasn't changed. I love this country. I think we're being taken advantage of by all our allies around the world. We're misspending Americans' taxpayers' money. We should bring jobs back to America. He's been saying the same. He hasn't changed. He has not changed. He's the same guy he was 30 fucking years ago. What's changed is that he's threatening the fucking blob's power. And that's why they went after him the way they did. Because up until when he was giving the Clintons money, they loved him. But as soon as he decided I'm going to end the gravy train, that's when he became public enemy number one. Yeah, that's right. Speak, Speaking of the View, how glorious is it that it was that fucking cunt on the View who asked Kamala Harris, "What would you do differently from the Biden?" And Kamala says, "Oh, nothing. I wouldn't do a thing different." And that it was that question that destroyed her, amongst many other things, that destroyed her. How glorious is that, man? I laughed. Chef's kiss indeed, baby. Like that chick, that Sunny Hostin chick, must be fucking just sick to her stomach. Just thinking, I destroyed the campaign with that one fucking question. Well, listen. Yeah, exactly. No, no, yeah, yeah. Look, abortion is a very, very complicated issue. From my perspective, the government shouldn't be able to tell me to get a vaccine, and it shouldn't be able to tell me whether I should keep or not keep a child. Right? That's that's my perspective. Yeah, yeah. It was bad law. No, no, no. No, no, no. Listen, listen, listen. I'm not saying that Roe versus Wade was a good law. I'm not saying that at all. I agree with you. It was a bad law. It was a bad decision on the part of the court. And yeah, abortion is a complicated issue. I just think it was just so beautiful that the View was the one that helped to torpedo Kamala's campaign. It was so glorious to me, man. I love that. Uh, yeah. And now it's gonna give us a chance to see if Trump can put if he puts Elon in there. See, this is what it needs to happen. This fucking Department of Government Efficiency, get in there, clean out the bloat, clean out the ideologues, clean out the deep state blob things, and get government. Like government has the ability to do great things, but I mean, look, the guy can land fucking rockets. He can get a rocket to land on a fucking gantry crane. Like, how come the government, with all its fucking resources, can't do that shit? How come Boeing? Exactly. 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 So now that we've got this victory, I want to know where my handmaidens are at. I demand a submissive woman, concubine to be. Oh, that's right. I live in Canada. I don't get one of those. Have you got? Have you gotten yours yet? Have you got? Oh, well, you live in Vermont, so I don't know if you get one up there. I think maybe you have to be in a red state to get one of those. Mm. So when do I get to oppress the darkies, or when do you get to oppress the darkies? Is it just a red state thing, or when does that happen? Uh, oh man, you just can't catch break down there, eh? So speaking of plantations, what are you going to do with all these illegals? Suppose like you got what, like 20 million who streamed in since Biden has been in charge. So like, what do you do? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he let in 20 million. So what do you do with these people? Like, 4-year military service in exchange for citizenship? Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, would it be required for you to do 4 years of military service and then you're a citizen, or you do like would it be something like what do you think? Yeah, like I think that would be great. Like, because then you would instantly be able to weed out people who are legitimately in the states for wanting to have a better life, right? Because they're gonna say, you know what, fuck it, I'll do 4 years. And then the ones who object, you could tell are either bad actors. Now, obviously, you're going to have a lot of people who are unfit to serve, right? Like who don't, physically or mentally speaking, don't have it, the ability to serve, right? So those guys, you're gonna have to like send them back to where they came from. But the ones who are gonna object, if you're look from the footage I've seen, most of the people coming in are military age young men, right? So most, I don't know, man. I don't know. I honestly think you should go see your optometrist. So yeah, I say all the hot, thick Latina females become handmaidens, and all the males become, conscripts in the army. Think about that. You would have like, I don't know, a 4 million man army. Hoo-ah! Like, fuck around and find out. And tacos. There you go. There you go, man. I think the problem solved themselves. Yeah. So, what are the chances of another assassination? You think they try and get him again, like maybe on January 20th when he's standing there taking the oath and he just fucking with somebody with a high power rifle from like a mile away? Yeah. Well, the patriarchy says Antifa will be unleashed. Do you care to elaborate on that? What are you saying? Like on January 20th, when he's inaugurated, there'll be riots? Is that what you mean? Yeah. Yeah, I think you don't think conscription is a good idea, Robert Patter. Why is that? Elaborate. He says 200% tax on remittance, fines on employers. Yeah, yeah. You know what? Remittance is a problem, man. Like I did a video a few years ago, back in like 2015. Canada loses like $25 billion a year in remittances, like going back to India, China, and the Philippines. That's money that just comes right out of the economy. That doesn't go, that isn't spent in Canadian businesses. Isn't like I could only imagine what the remittance is like in the States. Yeah, it's got to be like your population is 10 times ours, right? So it's got to be like 250, a quarter of $1 trillion probably leaves the American economy each year being sent to like South and Middle America and wherever the fuck else. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, Robert, I meant to say military service for migrants who are here who want a pathway to citizenship. I didn't mean drafting. I didn't mean conscription. That's just the word that came out. So anything else you want to talk about other than the elections or has something to do with the elections? Come on, I told you to make some notes, man. Yeah. Well, I told you, man. Like fucking, there was that one graphic that I showed where the arrows were pointing towards the right, the red arrows. Like it's all over the East Coast. Like even parts of the New England where you're at, where it's like, safely blue. Practically every county in New York, in Massachusetts, in like all those shitty blue states went towards the right. So it's quite possible if Trump shows great results in his first couple of years when the midterms are on again in 2026. God help us, we live that long. Um, it's quite possible that he could flip a lot of seats in the states of New York and your part of the woods, right? and give him like a super majority in the House and because the Senate will have elections again in 2 years, right? So he could get a super majority in the House and the Senate if he performs really well. If people see like a really turn a fast turnaround on the border crisis, on crime, on the economy, on interest rates, if those four things improve vastly in his first 2 years, he could get a super majority and he could like just terrorize like the next presidential election by handing the next, I don't know if it's going to be Vance or Vivek or who the fuck is going to run for the next presidency. Well, listen, man, I think that's not what I was going to say. I think the GOP is set up great for the next couple of election cycles, presidential. Yeah, Vance is good. Vivek is good. What's his face? DeSantis in Florida is good, although he was kind of like dog shit this time. He should. I don't know. Yeah. Well, I don't know what he was thinking. Like it's Trump's turn, let him do it, and then you wait, you run out your terms as yes, Robert, you're absolutely right. Quality is more important than quantity, but that's what I'm saying. All these guys are quality. Vivek's quality. I think Vance is quality based on what I've seen in the debates and how he's handled himself in the media. Same thing with DeSantis. I just think DeSantis should have waited. We'll let Trump either win or lose. He won. Wait your turn, right? And I think the GOP is set up great for the next cycle. Like, who do the Dems have? That fat ass Pritzker from Illinois, or Gavin Newsom is a train wreck. Have you seen what he's done to California? He's destroyed California. Nobody's gonna like. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's insane. Well, the dis- the disconnect is the lamestream media, dude. Like the lamestream media is the only thing that props these fucking losers up, like Hochul and Whitmer chick in Michigan and all these. Like, yeah, they're all disasters. Like if you look at their states, they're fucking disasters. Like look at New York. New York, it's like it's lost. I was looking at election time, and he was showing us the differences between previous election cycles. California and New York has lost seats in the House of Representatives because their populations have declined. Like that's how bad they are. And whereas Texas and Florida has gained seats, right? So I don't know, man. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. So I think the GOP is had a realignment. I think they've gone back to caring. I don't know if they ever did in the past. I think they did in the past, but they've gone back to like this populism thing is important. People care. And the Democrats are fucking lost in the woods. I don't think they're ever going to snap out of it. And I think the GOP will have it. Like, I don't care who's in power as long as you are governing for the people, right? As long as, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like, are you fucking high? Oh my god. Yeah, yeah. I don't know what Dallas Cowboys fans are smoking, but they're gonna need to smoke all of it because the Eagles right now are destroying them 34-6. Wow. They've been saying that for 30 years. Wow. Wow. Exactly, exactly. Yeah, it's pathetic. It's sad and pathetic. They're kind of like the Democrats of the NFL. Anyways, anything else you want to cover before we call it a night? Yeah, we're at an hour and 10 minutes. Anything anybody else wants to mention on the chat? Robert Potter says DeSantis should stay where he is permanently. DeSantis is the governor. He does it well. He should stick to that. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think he has what it takes, though, to be a president. Not just for just not versus Trump. I don't think. Look, any I yeah, yeah, and yeah, Trump just has what it takes. Nobody can beat Trump. Yeah, yeah, I hope he puts RFK in there. I hope he puts fucking Elon in there. I hope Vivek gets a job. I posted that meme the other night about Alex Jones being the press secretary. Could you imagine? Could you imagine somebody says something stupid to him and he just slowly starts going on, answering the question, and he just builds and builds to this like crescendo of screaming excellence over the fucking body, and the fucking reporter just goes running from the fucking room crying her little eyes out. That would be so fucking epic. Or if he finally snaps and he tears off his shirt, jumps over the podium, and just starts chasing reporters around the press room. And that would be so fucking epic. But I mean, I don't think it would happen, but I mean, one could dream. But Tucker Carlson as the press secretary, could you imagine? Like, I really, yeah. No, no, I'm still, yeah, I was just reading the chat. Robert's stuck on DeSantis. Like, DeSantis needs a replacement for that first before he can become. He goes, if DeSantis brings out his inner Mussolini. It's funny, Mussolini was a fucking communist, right? Like nobody like points these things out. Like half of Hitler's guys before they joined the Nasdaq party, they were all fucking communists. Like fascism is a left wing ideology, but I guess that yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it's just it's a boogeyman, man. It's just a boogeyman. Like, cause the left is not only economically bankrupt, they're also fucking ideologically bankrupt. They can't argue on ideas. Yeah, yeah, Yeah. Gavin Newsom, why are you a lizard person? Alex Jones. See, that's the problem with Alex. He's just too fucking wacko. Like, he will start talking about interdimensional lizard people or whatever the fuck when it comes to the Fed or something. Like, somebody would ask him a question about Fed rates, and he would go off on this like 3 hour like tangent about how the interdimensional lizard people who control the Fed, and like, no, it would be like through the looking glass. With That's why you got to get somebody like Tucker or Vivek to be press secretary. Space vampires. Yeah, I know. It's just like it's just I think I think Tucker or Vivek would be a better press secretary. But oh yeah, the amount of the amount of viral moments that would be that would come out on a daily basis from press conferences with Alex Jones, it would be insane. It would be it would be epic. It would be epic just watching CNN reporters with their jaws like on the floor trying to comprehend what they just watched. Oh man! Well, the future looks bright on your side of the border, my friend. It's looking the same up here. Trudeau doesn't have long to live. We're on the parliamentary system, so he has a minority government that's being propped up by one of the opposition parties. So no matter what happens, our election won't be triggered until next year. But we have a Trump-like guy on our side called Pierre Poilievre. Yeah, yeah, it's going to be the same up here. Landslide. It's just things are just as bad up here as they are down there. So, or they used to be down there. So yeah, we're itching to pull the trigger. So the future looks bright up here as well. When it eventually comes, it's just going to be months behind you guys. So, a best case scenario, we have an election triggered in the next month or two, due to some parliamentary fiascos that's happening right now. Worst case scenario, it's going to be October of next year. So our long national nightmare will be over too. So thank God for that. Yeah, yeah. He's like he's he's yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, he's more like Vivek or like Tucker in regards to his interactions with the media, whereas Trump is more bombastic and pugilistic. Like he's more combative. Whereas Pierre is more like, well, okay, well, what do you mean? Who are these experts that you're quoting? Uh, like, yeah, people say, yeah, people say, well, who are these people? It's like, well, well, I don't know. You said people say, who are these people? It's like, well, you brought it up. You can't tell me who these people are. It's like, and he just tears the guy apart, right? And he's like, yeah. Well, they've got they've gotten away with it for too long. Like they say it all the time. Like people say this, experts say that. Well, who are these? Cite these experts. What did they say exactly? You're just making it sound like there's this unanimous consensus out there that that this is truth and this is false. Well, I don't believe you. Like name names. Who are these people? What are you citing? And that's the problem. Like people are stopping to believe this bullshit, man. It's like, I'm sorry, but anybody who insists that men can become women is not worthy of having any credibility whatsoever. Anyways, that's all I had to get off my chest. Exactly. 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 All right. Well, it was good having you, Warlord. Yeah. Well, things happen. I was working a lot last year and had to, clean up the remains of my mom's possessions and all that stuff. And now that I've been off, yeah, I've been, so I have been working the last 3-4 months, right? So, yeah, I have more time on my hands, but I got to get back to work because, the wolves are going to be at old Gil's door soon. Yeah, exactly. So I got to go find a job in the next little bit and, we'll keep doing them in the meantime. If people ever, tune in to watch. But you know what? It was good doing this. It was good having you, Robert, and Tetrafish, and the patriarchy, and everybody else who chimed in. Sorry if I missed anybody. We might do another one next weekend. Are you going to be available, Mr. Lord of War? I'll take that as a yes. All right. Well, we'll keep in touch. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that's a deep dive, man. I don't know that too much about that stuff. All right, so we'll keep in touch over the week. We'll see how it goes. Then, yeah, we'll maybe do another one next week. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Have a good weekend. Take care, buddy.